welcome back to the All Hazards Prepper Show, your go-to spot for all your disaster prep information and how to survive wild SHTF scenarios. Plus, we'll chat about the chaos of the world, throw in weather updates, and cover any topics the All Hazards Prepper has in his head this week. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform and join us on social media. Now, let's welcome your fearless leader and the brains behind the All Hazards Prepper, Blake.
Welcome back to the All Hazards Prepper Show. This is your host, Blake. Hope everyone is staying safe out there. I wanted to drop a situational update for this week. I meant to drop one last week. I had it in the queue and guess I forgot to drop it. So, oops. But we are getting back here on the show. I'm super excited. Next week, we are going to have our first back guest, Sean. With I think it's Prepared Home Solutions. He is out of South Carolina. We're actually going to shoot the show tonight, but wanted to do a quick situational update before we shot the show here in about an hour. So today, if you do not know, if you're listening to us in another country, you don't have to worry about this. But today is the election day. If you have not voted, go out and vote. I have already, me and my wife last week went and voted. Did early voting here in North Carolina. And, we just were standing there and we were talking about how grateful we are to live in a country that we get to, vote. It's our civic duty to vote and choose who represents us in Washington or in your local municipalities or in your state capital. So go out and vote. Go make sure that you get that done by the end of the day. Make sure you know where your voting sites are. If you have not done so, a lot of people will show up to a voting site and they'll be like, sir or ma'am, you got to go to this other one. So make sure you know that. And make sure if you are in a voter ID state that you do have a voter ID. But anyway, just wanted to get on there. We'll talk about some of the man-made technological, whatever everyone call it, threats after the natural hazards around the election. But make sure you get out there and vote, people, today. So what's going on in the natural hazards world? Not a whole lot. Knock on wood if you can hear the wood there. There is a new developed tropical storm. Started with an R. Give me 1 second, and we can locate what the name of that tropical storm was. It was in the Gulf. Oh, Rafael, yes. So it looks like it's going to go. It is coming as right now. It's a 45 mile per hour storm. Somewhere kind of below Cuba, Haiti area, and it is the cone here does show parts of the possibly Alabama, Louisiana coast getting affected this Saturday as a tropical storm. So something to keep an eye out on. We are still in hurricane season, people, for the next, until really the end of the month. But the water's still there. It's still warm. The environmental conditions are still right, as seen here. So we still have to stay vigilant. We have to stay aware. We have to stay prepared for those tropical hazards, and making sure you just don't let your guard down and it's November. We really never had a major hurricane affect us in November, but a lot of areas have. Maybe your area has not, but definitely other areas have. So make sure you keep your guard up for that. And other than that, we're still dealing with the recovery efforts of Helene. Next week's episode with Sean will feature a lot of that. He actually went through Helene. We're going to talk about some recovery efforts, some things that lessons learned from Hurricane Helene. But definitely thoughts and prayers continue for Western North Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia that were infected as well. Make sure that you are still following them out there. Don't forget about them. If you see a need through a local church or other group, organization, civic group, I know there's a lot of needs still there, especially as they're getting into winter, colder months, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. But definitely continue to think about them. A lot of areas right now are very dry, though. Here in the Southeast, we haven't seen rain in quite a long time, probably over a month now. We've seen some little pockets of sprinkles overnight, a couple nights in October, but really it's pretty dry. So if you live in the Southeast, if you live somewhere that's in a drought area right now, or somewhere that has not seen a lot of rain, maybe you're not necessarily in a drought per se, but you need some rain, make sure that you're not lighting fires and causing that issue. I've seen several municipalities come out and say, hey, it's pretty dry. We've had a couple brush fires that have kind of got out of hand, especially as the fall winds occur. So if you're going to burn, make sure you burn smart. Make sure that you follow your local municipalities or counties regulations towards that. A lot of places, a lot of states require you to get a burn permit. Just to let first responders know that you're burning and they don't get nuisance calls about it. But make sure that you're have the water nearby, some way to extinguish, not burning something crazy, large or whatever. Have you could have a piece of machinery nearby if you're trying to burn something large, so you kind of put a line around it. But make sure you're practicing those as well. So we're going to get here into winter months. Parts of western U.S. have already seen snow. The state I used to live in, Wyoming, saw quite a bit of snow last week. So it's pretty cool to see that out there in the mountain west region. But we are getting into the winter months, people. Even if you live here in the southeast like I do, and you're still in short sleeves and t-shirts, it is coming. So the next few weeks, we are going to have some people on. Hopefully, I got a couple people I'm talking to talk about winter preparedness, talk about snowstorms and things like that. Those hazards that definitely could affect you unless you live like somewhere in, I don't know, Miami. But even Florida occasionally lately has the last few years has seen some colder temperatures, but not anything crazy to their terms. But definitely, if you're a Floridian, and it turns 60 or 50, 40 degrees outside, or 30 degrees, you definitely think it's probably in the negatives. So anyway, we're going to talk about that here in the coming weeks. But make sure you go ahead and start getting those, that cycle, or get those wheels turning about your winter preparedness. If you're a homeowner, making sure that you, especially if you're in somewhere that's currently seeing temperatures drop below 30 or 32. Making sure that you get in, your home preparedness, shutting off water, shutting off, spigots outside, winterizing machines or machineries or an RV or anything, or winterizing your home. But we're going to be talking about that in a few weeks, how to prepare yourself, your vehicle, your home for winter weather, because winter weather certainly is a major hazard here in the U.S. and something that usually people are ill prepared for as well. So we'll talk about that. That's kind of what's going on in the natural hazards world. Haven't seen too much natural hazards, international type things either. I know, there's different areas have been dealing with flooding, of course, but haven't seen anything crazy out in the international spectrum. So let's talk about our man-made, our threats, or whatever we want to call this part of all hazards. It's kind of a multitude of things: technological hazards, just human it's basic what's going on. So, as I said before, today is election day. I will be dropping this episode tomorrow at 6 a.m. Like I usually do. So today is election day, and you can go on social media all you want. You can go, on the news all you want and read whatever you want to feed your fire or feed your filter. But it's important to follow trusted news sources, not only in general but today as well. Making sure you're looking at trusted media sources. Don't go on, X and look on some account that's actually, there's been a lot of talk recently about foreign actors, and it's been shown there's a lot of foreign actors, bad actors, that are putting misinformation out there just to, poke the fire at the U.S. election cycle. So definitely making sure you're following trusted media sources today. If all days, this is the day, and probably in the coming weeks as well. This election has already been said that we will probably not know who wins the presidential race tonight. We may have an idea, but we probably won't know for certain. Definitely your local races and your state races probably will know. But this is not a sprint; it's a marathon after tonight. So it's really just kind of hanging in there and following those trusted media sources. And not giving in, not sharing, don't go on Facebook and share something that is not reputable, or that's just going to poke the fire. Don't put that threat out there towards yourself. We do live in the United States where there is the First Amendment, so you can do whatever you want. But I would not recommend poking any fires today, if you can. Anyway, other than that, staying vigilant today, and just in general, these are things that you should do on a daily basis, not just today, but in a daily basis. Staying vigilant. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities. If you're at a polling site, if you're voting and you see something that doesn't look right, even in a poller's point of view, if hey that doesn't look right, and that was not what we've done in the past, or if you live in a voter ID state and you're seeing them not check your vote, your ID, definitely making sure that you bring that up to local officials. Most municipalities, counties, wherever you're voting, have election fraud or election hotlines. Most states have this set up, so making sure you report those as well. I hope most people early voted, because I know the lines out there are going to be long. If you plan on going to stay and wait in lines, make sure you're prepared for the elements, and be prepared to stand for quite a bit of time. I've seen some of these polling precincts have some quite large lines. I know here in North Carolina we had a tremendous early voting turnout, and it definitely saw some crazy lines out there, and I can only imagine what today is going to bring. So I think that's the biggest two things I want to hit on the election: is stay vigilant and don't spread misinformation, and all that, and stay prepared. Just like every day, anything could happen. Anything could happen today as well. It's just another day, and we have to stay prepared. What if tomorrow, there is some severe weather moving across the U.S. I saw. What if tomorrow we have a severe weather outbreak or something like that? We have to stay prepared, people. Having plans, having resources, having those emergency kits, is definitely something good to do. And if you get prepared, and maybe this is good for the winter as well. So that's what we're kind of seeing here in the threats point of view. I did say there's a lot of foreign actors out there spreading misinformation. It's been shown, in the news today. I've been reading pretty trusted media sources that is occurring. So definitely making sure you or stay aware with that. Making sure that if you're having Facebook, if you have Twitter, any social media accounts, that you have those pretty well locked down. You should do this anyway, but making sure that you change the password regularly. You don't have some, password is password 1234 exclamation point or something. Have something a little bit more tricky. Have the two-factor authentication on. And making sure that you're monitoring your social media. If you see something that doesn't look right on the page, like I didn't post that or I didn't message that person, making sure you go ahead and change your password and report that to the social media place as well. So I definitely want to stay prepared in terms of cyber as well. At some point, if yourself or somebody that is a cybersecurity expert, I would love to talk to you, bring you on the show, talk about cyber preparedness and all of that fun stuff as well. So that's kind of what I have seen from the All Hazards Prepper point of view. Like I said, I tried to keep these shows pretty not political and nonpartisan or anything. So I try not to go into anything crazy, but definitely just continue to stay prepared, stay aware, stay prepared, stay alive. That's that's what we got to do. No matter what day it is, if it's election day or just every other day, you have to do these things today, because you never know when an all hazards event or an incident or disaster may occur in your area. So that's what's going on in the situational update world. Like I said, next Monday at 6 a.m., I will be dropping my first in a month and a half, people, interview with Sean from South Carolina, talking about Hurricane Helene recovery. Something I want to talk about from an emergency manager's point of view, and then from someone that's a prepper and someone that's been through it point of view as well. But if you were affected by Hurricane Helene, if you live in Western North Carolina, and you want to talk on the show, definitely send me a direct message on Instagram or on Facebook. That's usually the best place to get me, or X, or even if you comment, hey, I want to talk to you, I'll figure out how to message you. So continue to follow us on social media. I drop all my shows on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. There may be some other random places as well, as long as with YouTube. Continue to follow us there. I hope everyone stays safe today. Remember, stay aware, stay prepared, and stay alive. Hope everyone has a great day. Stay safe out there. Happy Election Day, people. The All Hazards Prepper out. The All Hazards Prepper here. You know what? I want you to go pause the episode right now and go look at your pantry. Do you have enough food in there to survive a couple of days? Maybe a week? Maybe a few weeks? Depending on how many family you have? No? Well, you need to go check out Artisan Farms. Artisan Farms offers so many different products for emergency food from things that you can use every day. I love that Artisan Farms has so many products that you not only might need during a disaster, but you may just need to cook your normal everyday meals. Artisan Farms offers great products that's tailored around that can fit your needs for the next emergency. Whether you need something that will last you 72 hours or up to even 2 weeks, Artisan Farms has the product you need to survive the next disaster and for those that depend on you. Go ahead and check out Artisan Farms at artisanfarms.com. Again, that's artisanfarms.com, and use the code the All Hazards Prepper for a 10% discount whenever you check out. Again, the All Hazards Prepper for a 10% discount when you check out. Artisan Farms has what you need not only for the next disaster, but for the everyday as well.